If I made that money, I'd sit on a beach, I'd drink beer, and I would just watch the sunset. Kind of like a Corona beer commercial. Have you ever thought about that as a career option?
You know, I find that really pretty boring. So that would be torture. If I had to do that every day, that would really be pretty awful for me. I really need to be preoccupied with something. If I'm just sort of sitting there relaxing, I can only do that for a very short period of time, and then it becomes unbearable.
And you want to make money, but are you motivated beyond just profit motive and racking up dollars?
Yeah, no, I'm a volunteer. I mean, I don't need the money. There's nothing, it's not like I'm sitting here saying, I wish I could buy such and such a thing. I could buy it. I get paid minimum wage, actually. I don't even get overtime. You know, I think my sort of drive to get it done is somewhat disconnected from hope, enthusiasm, or anything else. I actually just don't care about hope or enthusiasm, or motivation. I just give it everything I've got, irrespective of what the circumstances may be. You just keep going and get it done.
I think it's very difficult to start companies and quite painful. I think that's important to bear in mind. It's much easier to get a job somewhere. Much easier, much less stressful. You'll have more time for other things.
But would you be happier?
No, I wouldn't be. I'd be unhappier. So it's really like, if you're sort of wired to do it, then you should do it, but not otherwise. It's not going to optimize your leisure time or anything like that. It's going to be extremely difficult and stressful. So you must feel compelled to do it. Let me put it this way: if you need inspiring words, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard starting a company. I mean, you have to basically be prepared to work constantly, you know, from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. You have to be willing to deal with a lot of difficult problems, thorny problems, willing to deal with an enormous amount of stress. You just got to push yourself super, super hard. I wouldn't recommend it for most people.
No.
I definitely feel stressed. Yeah, it's been incredibly difficult and painful the last several months.
Mm-hmm. Painful?
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sleeping on the factory floor, not because I think that's a fun place to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, terrible.
Sleeping on the factory floor, why are you doing that?
Because I don't have time to go home and shower. I don't believe like people should be experiencing hardship while the CEO is like off on vacation. I certainly never expected to see the level of success that's occurred, because I'm actually an engineer, but I discovered that in order to do the engineering that I want to do, I have to have a company, otherwise somebody makes me do something I don't want to do. For me, it's always about, does what I'm doing matter? If we're successful, does it matter to the world? And so there are easier ways to make money than starting a rocket company or, say, a car company.
The odds of me coming into the rocket business, not knowing anything about rockets, not having ever built anything, I mean, I would have to be insane if I thought the odds were in my favor.
Why even begin?
When something is important enough, you do it even though the odds are not in your favor.
How much of your personal fortune have you poured into this?
$100 million.
$100 million into something that you did not believe would work at the beginning.
Yes.
But at the age of 37, he hit rock bottom. His first rockets failed to reach orbit, and an early model Tesla Roadster had quality problems.
In 2008, the rocket company is not going well. You had 3 failures. The car company is hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And the American economy has tanked in the worst recession since the Great Depression.
Right. That was definitely at the worst year of my life. If that fourth launch hadn't worked, that would have been it. We would have not had the resources to mount a fifth.
You couldn't have gone out at that point.
Yes, death would have been, I think, inevitable because we did not have the resources to mount a fifth launch. But yeah, I wish it wasn't so hard.
There are people who've been in the rocketry business for decades who say about you that you don't know what you don't know. What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone. And I would hope for as much support in that direction as we can receive.
What keeps you fighting for your vision? What helps you to reach your dream?
Well, I mean, I think I'm kind of constitutionally just geared to just keep going. Certainly there are times when things don't go well, and then that's quite discouraging, for sure. And so then it's difficult to proceed with the same level of enthusiasm. But I do think the things that we're doing are pretty important to the future. If we don't succeed, then we'll be certainly pointed to as a reason why people shouldn't even try for these things. So I think it's important that we do whatever is necessary to keep going.
What things can you buy that you really love, that really give you joy? So rare, so rare. I wish there were more things. That's what we're trying to do. Just make things that somebody loves. A future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars. This is very exciting. This makes me look forward to the future. This makes me want that future. You know, there need to be things that make you look forward to waking up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you look forward to the day, forward to the future. A future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, I think that's very exciting.
Persistence is extremely important. You should not give up unless you're forced to give up. You know, there's no other choice. You know, that principle can be misapplied if you happen to be trying to penetrate a brick wall with your head. You have to be cautious in always saying one should always persist and never give up, because there actually are times when you should give up because you're doing something in error. But if you're convinced that what you're doing is correct, then you should never give up. And you know, life has to be more than about solving problems. You know, if all that life is about is solving problems, why bother getting up in the morning? There have to be things that inspire you to, you know, that make you proud to be a member of humanity.
Well, it's like the Nike slogan, you know, just do it. You know, just showing up is half the battle. Just, you know, you got to try hard to do it, and don't be afraid of failure. As Edison said, you know, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. Not be afraid to innovate, but also don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not. Or you're going to get fixated on a bad solution. Yeah, and I think also just don't be afraid of new arenas. You know, you can get a book, you can learn something, and experiment with your hands, and you know, just make it happen. Find a way or make a way to get something done.
I think people should be nicer to each other, and give more credit to others, and don't assume that they're mean until you know they're actually mean. You know, it's easy to demonize people. You're usually wrong about it. People are nicer than you think. Give people more credit.
I'm probably not the guy that most people would bet on.
Who wins?
It's like a little kid fighting a bunch of sumo wrestlers. Usually the sumo wrestlers win. We're a little scrappy company. Every now and again, a little scrappy company wins. And I think this will be one of those times.
Creating a company is almost like having a child. So it's sort of like, how do you say your child should not have food?
So once you have the company, you have to feed it and nurse it, yeah. Even if it ruins you.
Yeah. I think when I was, 5 or 6 or something, I thought I was insane. Which was just strange. Because it was clear that other people did not. Their mind wasn't exploding with ideas. It was like, that's strange. I don't think you'd necessarily want to be me. It's very hard to turn it off. It's like a never-ending explosion. All the time.
You've said that this has been the toughest year for you, the most sort of taxing year for you. Like, why? 22 hours a day? Or like, what? How many hours?
I was working, so 7 days a week, sleeping in the factory. I worked in the paint shop, general assembly, body shop. There need to be reasons to get up in the morning. You know, life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living. If somebody is doing something that is useful to the rest of society, I think that's a good thing. Like, it doesn't have to change the world. Like, if you're doing something that has high value to people, I think that's fine. Like, stuff doesn't need to be changed the world just to be good. Depending on how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. And I mean, if you do simple math, say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company.
I am somewhat impulsive, and I don't really want to try to adhere to some CEO template. A natural human tendency is wishful thinking. A challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream? That is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things? I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment. I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. I mean, I think it's quite painful and difficult. But all those things improve the odds of success.
I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we're better able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward.